Welcome back to The Edge. Hey, here are some headlines we are watching this week. Improvements on YouTube Studio are on the way. Google's well aware of PBM links that you're actually buying. Privacy-focused changes from Google Ads. And is Google taking credit and sourcing itself on its own platform? You're listening to News from The Edge for the week of May 17th, 2021 here on Edge of the Web Radio.
From the Edge of the Web studios, here's what we're looking at this week.
You want to get to that fourth article, don't you? You do. But we're going to go through three of them before we pay up on that weird one. All right, this is Edge of the Web Radio. I'm your host, Erin Sparks from Site Strategic. Every week, we bring you some amazing guests to talk with and, well, listen to. It's really not a two-way conversation, but we're talking about digital marketing trends that affect you in your digital marketing industry. So each week we're covering SEO, search engine optimization, and digital marketing news separate from our weekly interview podcast, getting you more news to you more quickly so you can actually use it more for your digital marketing week. So check that out over at edgeofthewebradio.com, edgeofthewebradio.com. If this is your first time listening to us, thanks for joining us, and I apologize. You're about to meet Mordy. Welcome to the Site Strategic Digital Marketing News Desk. Site Strategic is the title sponsor of the show. This is the Digital Marketing News Desk of Edge of the Web Radio. Joining me, that ominous laughter in the background, is the Mordy Oberstein, SEO liaison of Wix. So treat the new ones kindly, Mordy. I mean, this is my newfound friends here.
You're creating a bias. Now they'll never look at me with like a fair pair of eyes. I'm automatically an asshat. I get it.
Just trying to help them out there. Give them a leg
I'm proud of this, by the way. Thank you for helping them see me quickly.
Exactly. I'm just trying to connect the dots as quickly as possible.
It's a great hosting job right there. Also, I like the tease that you do. Right, you say that last little
what the hell is that going to be?
Oh, let me listen to the whole thing now.
Exactly.
Or fast forward to that one.
Oh crap! I could do that, can't
Sorry, don't listen to Mordy.
Oh jeez. Yeah, that's right. They can do that. All right, fine. Well, we put the timestamps in there anyway, so they can bypass all this rigmarole right here. But who are you, and what are you doing on this show?
I don't know, and I don't know. I just showed up here every week.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I'm
Mordy Oberstein. I'm the official SEO liaison over at Wix, and they invite me on this show for reasons that are beyond me.
He's just like tapping on the glass of the studio. Let me in. $2. Get that deep cut.
I'm basically here to dance like a monkey.
Well, we certainly appreciate
hey, that's what you said to Andrew Optimizing your previous episode. Oh, you never know what Morty's going to say next. Yes. Now I know why I'm here.
Exactly.
Not for my insights, not for my mind.
We have a little crank box. Din, 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 din.
Pop goes the Mordy.
I want my own sound effect now.
Oh, we can do that.
Yeah.
Hey, if you didn't catch the May the 4th episode, we had some killer sound effects. We had lightsabers all over the place. So that was fun. But yeah, we'll get you your own sound effect, Morty. In fact, we probably have some background music that we could pull up. Anyway, Morty's he's the SEO liaison over at Wix, and Wix is a fantastic content management platform for your website. And we always want to take a deep dive into our marketing news of the week because there's a lot of things that are happening regularly, except for the last 2 weeks. We have no idea why there's no news. So we appreciate everybody churning up whatever they can here. But we're going to take a couple of swipes at it here. From Social Media Today by Andrew Hutchinson, YouTube previews our upcoming improvements on the YouTube Studio, including auto-generated title suggestions. So YouTube has actually shared some insight into its coming updates for its Creator Studio management platform, including improved processes for uploading videos via mobile app and an expansion of its pre-published checking capacity to help creators avoid potential penalties, because we know that there are some copyright infringement issues. There are a number of different issues that YouTube's regularly, I don't want to say improving, but they're evolving from policies and scrubbing content to avoid copyright infringement. But Jacob, did you have a look at this article by chance? No, you didn't?
I didn't have time yet. I was fixing wires.
No worries. Anyway, looking
at it now.
Oh, they're looking to. Hey, you got firsthand, front seat
Live react.
So
we don't want to actually prepare what we're going to talk about.
Hey,
You're just not being informed.
I would like to argue that the lights are on, so I did prepare.
You did.
The lights are on in the studio.
We're not talking to dead mics, so therefore your job is done. Fantastic. All right. So first off, YouTube is actually looking to improve its upload default settings, which will see defaults added to the mobile posting process, and will also allow multiple upload templates, reducing the need for full data entry every time you publish a clip. All right, so that's good, especially from what we do over here.
You've got my attention.
There we go. YouTube will also soon enable users to clone their upload settings from a previous video, further expediting the posting process, particularly on mobile devices. So if you have certain types of templates, right, you can also have those as clonable posting assets. They're also looking to make it easier to manage content on the go by adding an option to upload videos from Google Drive. There's a nice sync right there. And we're also, for our audio listeners, we have a YouTube video for this entire podcast. So we actually throw this content up on screen. So if you join us over at the YouTube channel, and we'll use one of these new templates to be able to help out and get more and more efficient as we roll this out. So they have a Google Drive engagement there. So you can actually source your location of the files and then be able to access all from your shared videos or your business, your Drive folder from anywhere, further expanding the posting options. And then lastly, YouTube has adding a pre-published check on mobile, which will bring it into line with a desktop app. So on the screen that you can see up there, they have a pre-published check analyzing the content of the video for a range of potential violations, including copyright concerns, language red flags, giving creators the opportunity to address things before they hit publish. And there's an actual Mordy filter. I had no idea. There was literally...
I was going to say, we should probably run this podcast through the filter.
It's probably the same as the language filter, isn't it?
Well, yes.
That's what I was going to say.
So they have a number of pre-published checks that they actually rolled out last September, and they expanded it in March. Now it's actually coming into mobile as well. So you're going to be able to have all this function. So I mean, there's been a lot, you post via mobile, and then all of a sudden you get flagged. You don't realize you got flagged, and your video was held up for how many days before you got to your desktop. This gives you additional functionality as well. They're also working on some more other evolutions, more futuristic video upload tools, quote unquote, including auto-generated video descriptions and titles, and AI tools to help improve video thumbnails. Now, this is what's interesting to me out of this entire, because I'm not really a video publisher. Out of all of this is it's actually auto-recommending titles. So it's reading, it's listening, it's watching the video, and it's going to auto-suggest titles that are going to be what? Better for the algorithm, right? So that's actually going to give you some feedback on, hey, you should really title it this way as opposed to this way.
Unless the algorithm hates you.
Yeah.
I bet the initial titles are garbage.
Just like the transcribing that it does, the closed captioning.
I don't.
I love the you ever pull YouTube transcript? If you've never pulled a YouTube transcript, you have never lived.
Oh my gosh. It actually
it's amazing they understand anything. It's amazing.
It should actually flag itself with the inappropriateness that it generates.
Flag itself, it's incomprehensible. What's it going to flag?
Yeah, there's some pretty much
it's pretty there. I have tried. Every podcaster has tried this at some point to get away with the transcript by just pulling out the YouTube transcript and taking out the timestamps in there, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And then realizing about 5 minutes through, this is going to take way more time and cost you way more money than the other options out there.
Editing that sentence that you just generated for me is spend the money.
8 hours of work.
Yep. We actually really like Descript as a transcribing service, and Rev at times. Rev.com is actually really good. And they're not getting promotion, so why am I even talking about it? I have no idea. But anyway, auto generation, this was kind of creeping me out here. Auto generation of the titles that it's suggesting and tags that it's suggesting. Yeah, to your point, is it algorithm centric? Is it wanting to actually promote you? I would think that that's part of the creative process that you should be putting into it. And maybe it's giving you a couple training wheels to be able to get you going there.
I mean, I can't imagine. Maybe I'm wrong and I'm a cynic, that title is going to be as, assuming that you're a halfway decent writer.
Right.
you know a little bit of what you're doing is going to be halfway decent. First off, how is Google considering the audience? Is it looking at it from ranking, from clicking perspective?
Right.
Maybe you have some brand presence that you're trying to go for with your videos. Maybe your videos, hey, you don't really care about ranking. You have such a big social media following. You throw a YouTube video on social media and everybody comes and follows it. Your title, your YouTube title that you're bringing in through the tag on social media might be speaking in a totally different way to a totally different kind of audience. So I'm just curious to see how. I'm not going to say it's bad or it's good. I'm just curious to see how that actually looks.
I think they're just trying to help the novice user as opposed to, the more invested user out there. But again, it's my interpretation of this. This is not really even for the user. Google's trying to understand this content by learning video, learning audio. It's trying to digest media and if you can actually give feedback at that point, well, this is the title. No, this is the title. You're actually giving a data point back to Google to understand that content and the inflections and the verbiage used a little bit better. So this is the beta test. They're rolling out an AI understanding, and you're just training the machine language better, right?
Here's an interesting little theory for you, or snack, if you want to call it that.
Yep.
And it goes, there's a patent that sort of speaks this a little bit. But when you give Google a title, or in this case, you give YouTube a title, you're offering YouTube information about your video.
Right.
But what happens when YouTube says, let me read this transcript, let me go through your video here, and while we'll leave your title alone, that's what we'll show, but we will on the back end, we will create our own title that we think is better than your title, and that's what we're going to use to actually understand your content, and you never even know.
Dude, did he just do that?
I need tinfoil hat.
That is like the whole Earth theory right there, the hollow Earth.
But I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying I wonder if Google is doing that. I don't think they are doing that. I wonder if they could do that.
Yeah.
And if at some point they would do that, and if they didn't tell you they're doing that, that would cause a lot of confusion.
He's just
Being
asking
very
questions
theoretical here.
He's just asking questions.
Also, the Earth is flat.
It's the hollow YouTube theory.
Exactly. Well, think about that. Could they have
flat YouTube theory is? It's a number of views you have on your video, which is flat.
Wow. Nice. All right. Well, we chased off all of our new users that just jumped on the podcast in 10 minutes.
They're like, this Mordy guy is so great. Let me keep listening. What's the next story, Erin?
Next story is from Carolyn Lyndon over at Search Engine Land. Google Ads announced privacy-focused changes on analytics, tag manager, and enhanced conversions in a Google Marketing live stream preview announcement of upcoming product launches. Vinay Srivatsan, unpracticed, hopefully I nailed it, Vice President of Engineering over at Google Ads, wrote about machine learning and Google Analytics, consent mode for Tag Manager, and enhanced conversions with first-party data. So Mordy's all over this. So Mordy, what's this all about?
Oh, this is totally my thing. Because the second I hear Google Ads, I don't completely tune out.
Yeah, I was wondering if he was actually going to be sleeping through this one. All right.
I'm sorry, Carolyn. I love you. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
All right, I'll help you out.
Erin's got to take this one. I get it. You can't have the cookies. You can't have the data. They got to figure out another way. How they're actually doing it, Erin, I'm turning the mic over to you.
All right,
your damn podcast.
We know that third-party data, third-party cookies are going to be on the way of the dodo here soon. And Google announced at GA4 last year, which includes conversion modeling that's going to be closing the measurement gaps that you would see from the linear conversion tracking with third-party cookies. So they're getting better insights into the customer behavioral analysis data as privacy becomes more of a concern for users. So in the announcement just this last week, Google said they're extending their advanced machine learning to behavioral and analytical reporting in Google Analytics. So, which is really interesting because even if you're not running ads, to be able to see more and more conversion goals and behavioral analytics, you're going to be able to see a good deal more insight on your user as you come into the website. So that said, they're also tightening up the consent mode inside of Google Tag Manager as well. So consent mode helps advertisers in the EU and UK adjust how Google tags tags users based on their individual consent status. So we know the GDPR issues of consent to be tracked. If a user does not consent to use the use of cookies, consent mode uses conversion modeling, which we're seeing in GA, to be able to help marketers measure the customer decision journey instead. So it is garbage in, garbage out. If you don't have a well-articulated website to be able to see the paths of conversion. And for example, if you have a form that doesn't take you to a receipt page or any particular thank you page, Google Analytics is going to be kind of blind. But you do have these two different factors working to be able to understand the behavior of the user without consent cookies, right? So they're kind of getting consent without consent. Is that what I'm understanding? But you throw in the next factor of Flock, which is this cohort that is built to be able to understand behavioral modeling at a tag cloud, kind of a group tagging dynamic. So there are three different things happening to try to understand user behavior. He's rolling his eyes.
I am watching Mordy just like.
Yeah,
I'm just sitting here rolling my eyes. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, oh, you're doing something right there. So there are three different initiatives to be able to figure out the user, because Google is not going to be honoring third-party cookies anymore. So what a long-winded process here. The fact of the matter is they're trying to understand your user so you can actually see that traffic, see that behavior that would then go to conversion to be able to model and run ads towards that same type of behavior again and again and again. All right, hopefully I did it some justice here. You got all that, Mordy? Can you give us a quick brief on that?
Yeah. Who said you could eat my cookies? That's all I took away from that. I'm sorry.
All right. So for everybody on the ad side of things, Mordy doesn't want to play with you whatsoever.
I'm completely useless. Completely.
Anyway, it's ongoing.
I honestly no. That was a very good explanation. Thank you for explaining that.
No, it wasn't. I chased my tail around on this one.
It's insane. How does anybody keep track of this stuff?
I don't know. Carolyn's there, and we trust her.
Carolyn takes care of it. She keeps track of it.
All right. So we also want to make sure that who takes care of our marketing over here at Site Strategics. That's us, and they are a continued sponsor of Edge of the Web, and we are the Agile Digital Marketing Pioneers. So our focus is omni-channel digital marketing, as well as omni-channel media broadcast to the extent of what you're hearing and watching right now. So our focus is results-based marketing that actually works. We're an iterative agile company that actually works on multiple campaigns at a client basis and be able to give exact measurements on behavior of those campaigns and steerage as well, month over month. So if you're interested in what we can do for you, you can contact us at 877 SEO for web, 877-396-493. Oh, I missed it.
Yes.
Ah,
you missed it again.
I missed it again.
I want the folks at home to know that before every show I remind you, hey, you want to practice.
They have a betting pool. They have a betting pool. It's 877-736-4932. Thank you very much. All right. So with that, thanks a lot for that. Let's shift over to our third article here. We've got... let's see here. We got PBMs, and PBMs are getting pretty obvious, says John Mueller over at Search Engine Roundtable by the Barry Schwartz. Can't get through a show without talking about Barry. And yeah, I saw what you did in the show notes there, Mordy. You actually blame me for this one. Anyway.
No, because you're always saying, oh, Barry's in every episode. We can get through an episode without Barry, which first off, why would you want to get through an episode without Barry?
I'm saying.
And then I said to you in the show notes, this time it's your fault because you brought this article in.
Well, it was a good one. I mean.
It is. No, I'm all for Barry. I love Barry.
Well, it was a good article, too. I mean, he's bringing the good information. I'm just not doing
also, the GIF. Barry's GIF game is... or GIF for all you people out there who get it wrong.
Nice.
Barry's GIF game is getting pretty good.
Yeah, he is. He's actually stepping up his game. Is he outsourcing it?
Not to me. I've been the obvious choice, but no.
No, he's actually been doing pretty good. So follow Barry on at Rusty Brick on Twitter. So he brings up this article. Google's John Mueller said that finding link schemes in PBNs, public blog networks, is easy, and nobody has to link a PBN to Google for Google to actually know about it. He said they're pretty obvious to the with the appropriate tools and basic scripts. So on a Twitter thread from Shahram Rabari, he added, there's nothing unique about PBMs. This individual actually gave him a quick tweet. If PBM is leaked, will Google penalize that site or eliminate the effects of the link? And John responded, usually nobody has to leak a PBM because it's pretty obvious to the appropriate tools and basic scripts. And he went on to say, Shahram did, if PBN is actually found by Google, will there be a penalty for that site? And John doubled down and said there's nothing unique about PBMs. They're just link schemes like others that have been for many, many years. I put that extra many in there. We respond to link schemes in a variety of algorithmic and manual ways. We have a lot of practice, and much of it is fully automated. So just a quick sidebar here. If PBMs are part of your inbound marketing tactics, you might actually want to rethink that, seeing that John Muse saying, you know what, we've done it for years. There's nothing new under the sun. You don't have to link it. We already know. That's pretty much what they're saying there, right?
Right. And then, of course, you had the Black Hat SEO community saying, no, we'll show you all the statistics that clearly point to PBNs being an absolutely fantastic way to fool Google. I mean, it's a pretty silly, personally, it's a pretty silly argument, especially long-term. Google figures it out. Google knows.
Right.
By the way, I'll read to you a little tweet from Jerry White, who is hosting SEO Chat about links. Disavowing links.
All right.
1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. He writes, so we got into this a little bit on Twitter today. He says there are examples where people have effectively created PBN that isn't Black Hat. Publisher networks, for instance, Verizon Media, for instance, owns Engaged Net. I get that totally wrong. Engaged Get and hundreds of other sites. This isn't Black Hat SEO, despite the fact that they all link to each other. So there's a little bit of a cliche about, all PBNs are Black Hat. There are legitimate PBNs, but yeah, the ones that you're thinking of are Black Hat. Don't do that. No, don't do that.
Yeah. Okay. Something else that we would like maybe Google not to do. A fourth article here, and it's not really a news item, something that Mordy caught, and wanted to bring it in to our broadcast here. All right, so from Brian Frizzleban on Twitter, right? Frizzleban.
From Merkel, I believe.
All right, so and his Twitter account is type_SEO. He says Google is really giving itself all the credit these days. Hard to say where this content is actually coming from, but it still looks shady to me. I do see some other sites with the exact copy, but who knows? All right, so we're going to throw this up on the screen. This is a knowledge panel of a search for Svalbard, right? Is it
this podcast episode is like amazing with names.
I just want to see the YouTube closed caption on this.
I was going to say Svalbard is garbage.
So Svalbard is it's a Norwegian archipelago, right, between mainland Norway and North Pole. All right, here's the deal: is that in the screen capture you'll see, and we got it zoomed up on the screen. There's an entire breakdown of content, and the northern lights are visible during winter. Summer brings the midnight sunlight 24 hours a day. Google. Google is actually referencing itself as the citable source for this knowledge panel. All right. So what's the deal here? Well, usually Google's actually referencing the content and where it gets the content from. So we found where it got its content from. Okay. It came from a site called, what was that? I thought I had it.
Oh no, we lost the site. I had it open before.
Yeah, I had it. Hold on a second. Where is it? This is live, guys. This is live. So so if you actually search for that first bit of content, say one of the world's northernmost inhabited regions, it comes from.
Drum roll.
It comes from bettermoments.com, film scenes, Svalbard. Okay, so here's the deal, is that it's coming from a bettermoments.com site, okay? Exact string of characters. Okay, and I even have it in yellow right here. Google's giving me a highlight right here, right? Then it added, the knowledge panel added its own additional piece of content, and then Google cited itself. So why?
Right. So like that first sentence comes from that site, and then the rest of it probably. I would imagine if you Google the other sentences individually, you would find other sites.
Correct. Exactly. So what's going on here is that, oh, wait a minute, is the amalgam of this entire quote now the property of Google? Is it citing itself because it did the build of these three sentences together? Is that what we're understanding?
GPT-3. That's what.
So it was a good find, and I would certainly implore. Let's have a look and see if we can find any other Google citing its own self out there. But it's also tied directly to Google Flights as well, right? So you have the entire network of utilization services for Google. I'm just pointing out here, you know what? You might want to actually give the citable source of where you got that content, Google, because this is a little another step too far, in my humble opinion. Mordy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they need to cite the correct sources in this case. Again, I will push and say it's not nefarious. I know I just lost 5 followers on Twitter.
I'm not saying it's not nefarious. I mean, Skynet didn't know that it was evil when it was actually starting to be created, right?
Totally parallel example, a fictional thing from a Terminator movie.
Well, yeah, you referenced Arnold, so I mean,
who said you eat my cookies?
You dissed it out.
We should totally drop that now. No, but look, it clearly seems that they're scraping content from multiple sources, putting it all together, kind of like you would have. It seems like, like an AI writer kind of thing going on here.
Right.
Hey, let's feed it into the machine. Let's have it scrape content from multiple places, spit it back out.
Right.
And instead of citing those multiple sources, it's saying Google. That's obviously a problem. I get that. It shouldn't be that way. I would imagine if they end up doing something like that officially, you got to think they're going to put the links there.
Sure. So
it'd probably be like those in links, I would imagine, which is not great, but whatever. It's just interesting to see them do something like this. I think that's the bigger story. That they're not just looking at one piece of content, Wikipedia, pulling it out, done.
Right.
They're experimenting with pulling content from all different kinds of sources and conglomerating it together into one uber source of information about Svalbard.
And that's exactly. And that was the one experiment we've seen. We have no idea. Google's going to rewrite everything, guys. Just wait. It happened at Svalbard. We can draw the line right here.
Can I do a remote from Svalbard? I'll report for you guys. Let you know what I see out there.
I don't know. It could very well be inside of Google by the time you get there.
Isn't that where Thor lives?
I don't know. I'm a DC fan. Okay, what's happening? What's happening this week in SEO Chat, Matt?
Jerry White.
Yep.
Posting.
Yep.
About disavowing links. Because there's been some renewed chatter. If you've seen out there, Murray Haynes wrote an article.
Yep.
There's Twitter chatter about when and how to go about disavowing links. So that's what we're talking about in SEO Chat at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Thursday on Twitter.
Excellent. So with that, we certainly recommend our listeners go jump over there because it's always an interesting conversation, and I'm sure this one is going to be something that everybody wants to listen to. Because do you need a weekly disavow process? What are we seeing from truly measurable results as you go in? There's certainly different schools of thought that disavow doesn't even need to be done because of the automatic nature of Skynet. I mean Google.
That's why SEO Chat is a pure learning experience meant solely as a learning experience and a place to engage with others from the SEO community.
All right. So with that, do you have an open mic this week as well?
Of course. Open mic SEO with Paul Shapiro. We're talking data science, data insights, and their application to SEO on Clubhouse on Wednesday, May 19th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Open mic SEO on Clubhouse.
Jeez, did you hear that? That was almost professional there.
Yeah. That was so good.
Paul Shapiro is fantastic. He is next. He is next level. I mean,
absolute genius.
And ask him about board games, man.
I will. You can ask him. You should come.
I will try my best. I think I can, but I may be a little bit late. But I'll see if I can jump in there.
If you do it right, he might send you a.
If not, just send Jacob.
Yeah, I'll send Jacob.
He's
reviewed like 400 board games. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Freaking crazy, man.
That's crazy.
Not me, Paul.
Yeah,
I know.
You said send Jacob, and then you said
Jacob. No one thought it was you.
No, if you were doing that, I was wondering.
Reviewed checkers.
Okay,
go fish.
All right, I'm going to pull this madness to. I'm going to just pull this car over, guys. This is ridiculous. Thanks so much for listening. We do appreciate it. That's it for Edge News this week. Make sure that you listen to the, check out the Andrew Optimize podcast that we just dropped this week, as well as the upcoming Mordy, not Mordy, we're done with Mordy. Roger Monty episode this week as well. Mordy, it's always a pleasure. We certainly appreciate you coming on board here. And now we can mute his mic so we can get out of here scot-free, right? All right, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and get updated when we go live with our show, as well as when we drop our video pieces in there. From all of us over at Edge, stay safe, stay well, and do not be a piece of cyber driftwood.